Hello, everybody. I just realized something as we went live. We're in your new space. You've been talking about how you literally moved through these series that we're doing every week, and we're sitting in here in our space, and I'm telling you, I am so in love with the space. It's so spacious. Everything is just so aesthetically pleasing. And as I was sitting here, her new mat came in. I just feel like all the things. Anyways.
Yeah, it's cool because we have been talking about it a lot.
Yes.
In this show.
It's so beautiful.
Here we are.
So beautiful. Alrighty, you guys. So this is another episode to the Halley Quynh show. And we talk about all the topics related to self-love, transformation, healing. And today we're going to talk about small solutions for big emotions. So this was actually like, how would I say it, triggered from an experience that you've had, and I bet that every single person has felt this loneliness. We've all felt that, haven't we? So I'm gonna let her walk through her experience because I'm sure you guys have related to that. And what kind of like small solutions did you find, and how was it so important for you to do that? And how did you feel afterwards? Mm-hmm. So we're going to just dive right in. Mm-hmm. So hi, if you guys want to chit-chat with us, go ahead and just type in the comment, and we'll always get to it. All right, let's begin. All right, so tell me what was going on. Was it this morning you said? Or last night?
Last night.
It was last night.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, at nighttime's always...
Yeah, nighttime.
When it comes.
Nighttime can get tricky.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that this topic of big emotions is something that we all experience on a very regular basis. Not all of us. Some people don't have a lot of access to their emotions, so they may not go through this as much. But for the big feelers out there, this can be a very reoccurring experience where you just get hit with an overwhelming emotion that is not comfortable. And so, yeah, last night I took a nap in the evening because I was really tired. And when I woke up, I woke up around 7 from a nap, which is not the most optimal time to nap. And I felt groggy and too tired to be energized to do anything. But I also was needing to wake up to I was done taking a nap. Mm-hmm. And so I was just overwhelmed with the feeling of loneliness. And I was laying in my bed and just feeling so lonely, and very familiar feeling. But I was witnessing my mind jumping to experiencing that loneliness as a very big problem that needed to be solved. Mm-hmm. And it needed to be solved by a very big solution that matched the enormity of the emotion. And so I was kind of watching my mind come up with solutions to this overwhelming feeling of loneliness. And all of the solutions were way more major than an uprooting of my life type of solutions.
Oh, your whole life. You gotta
my whole life is a problem and I gotta figure it out. And so, but I was also watching myself do it, and I've been in this loop enough times now to be wise to it. And so I kind of just witnessed it, and then I started getting curious about it, and I started getting curious about the way that the mind looks for big solutions to big emotions. And then I kind of reeled it in and was actually, I think that my solution here is very small. So, I connected with a couple friends. Actually, I reached out to 2 friends and started engaging in contact, which immediately made me feel better.
Right. And safe people, right? These
totally
people
safe
you can count
people.
on and call on.
And we were talking about this very thing. I was oh, I understand that the underlying emotion underneath seeking behavior and addiction behavior and numbing behavior is this existential loneliness. And what if we just gave that loneliness space to be and permission to be instead of thinking that it's a problem that needs to be solved? And as soon as I made that shift and was like in a conversation about it, it just like started to like dissipate, you know, of like, oh, you're allowed, like you're part of the human experience, you're allowed. And so then you and I were catching up, and we were talking about how oftentimes when we're having like really big uncomfortable feelings, the solution is things like taking a shower, going for a walk, doing some stretches, even though it feels like the solution is like buying a house, traveling across the world, like breaking up with your partner or finding a partner, right? The solutions can feel super major because the emotion feels super major. But really what all you need to do is just like do something small to offer some space and an energetic shift for you in the moment. And then all of a sudden, you don't have to uproot your whole life anymore.
Beautiful. It kind of reminds me of, I don't know if you guys have watched Frozen 2, but like doing the very next right step for you. You know, like when you look ahead, you know, you might see something really drastic and then you're like, yeah, that sounds good. Like, oh, what am I doing? I need to book a trip. I feel so, the emotion is so big. I need to get out of this in such a big way.
Yeah.
And that could seem very like far stretched. So what is it that you can do like in this moment? And I love it's like, can we give it space? Can we observe? Can we give it space? Can we give ourselves permission
to have this emotion?
And I like the term that you use with witnessing, as I was witnessing. So, and of course, you guys, this takes some practice for you to actually become like the observer of your emotions so that you can like attend to it. It's almost like you're watching someone else's emotions, but it's yours. It's yours, and you get to really be your own friend in that moment. And whatever it is, like in that moment, you felt like, you know what? Let me connect with my peoples. And as you were able to have a dialogue with them, you were like, oh, this is a human emotion. Like, I get to have this experience. I get to make space for this. So yeah, I love those terms that you use, being a witness to your own emotions. What is it, like discussing, no. Oh yeah, you said after discussing it dissolved, and what else that you mentioned? Yeah, like small solution.
And just
giving permission.
Space,
there we go.
permission.
Giving space and having permission for those emotions. Yeah. And what comes up for me too is, because we both have clients, we talk to clients on like a consistent basis, and something that I always say is, okay, like maybe you need like a gentler, like a gentle type of like self-love. Like, yeah, working out might be like you think the thing that you've been really consistent at, but the emotions right now, I mean, you're feeling hurt. You're feeling so hurt. So what's a gentle way of like releasing this? It might be journaling. You know, maybe you have a journal right then there in front of you. Maybe it's closing your eyes and meditating and just breathing, like little gentle,
like making yourself a cup
exercises.
of tea.
Yeah, like see, and that's movement. You're getting up, you're making something for yourself, so you're creating this whole experience for yourself.
Yeah,
in a very small way. So yeah, that was such a great talk. I feel like it's like boom, 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 right then and there. And the question also that comes up is, yeah, how can you be kind to yourself right now? Like, what is a way to be so gentle to your emotions in this moment, instead of like, oh, I need to force myself to like get rid of this. Let me just, I don't know. I don't know why I keep on thinking about things that escape or numb.
Yeah.
And this is where, we easily go to like addiction and like instant gratifying things to either numb it or escape from it.
Well, and I've even found myself, because, you know, I'm like, I don't have a very self-destructive tendency. It's just like I've just been like blessed with, like, I don't have like an addictive personality, I guess. And so, but even if and I was talking to you about this, if I'm trying to do something good for myself from a desperate place, oftentimes that thing that feels like the solution, like signing up for the class or like panic seeking the next thing for my purpose, you know, if it's coming from a place of desperation, it's usually not the solution, you know? So even if it like seems positive and it seems like a progress step, if it's stemming from a place of feeling inadequate, feeling lonely, feeling panicked, feeling desperate in any way, it's like likely going to add complication to my life rather than progress me in the best and right direction for me.
Ooh.
Because those choices come from a place of like calm, you know?
Yeah, calm and at least some sort of clarity. And I guess that's a really good question to ask yourself. What is it that you said? Does this bring me progression in the right place, or will this help me?
What's the motivating energy behind seeking the next step?
Yeah, that's right. And there you go. That's a lot of self-awareness and being observer of like your emotions. Like, where is this coming from?
Yeah, and if it's in the realm of panic, desperation, and pain, then your best bet is one of these small solutions for the moment, to get yourself through the moment, and not one of these big life choice decisions.
Yes, I also want to say, when we jump to like making those big decisions, for some reason I'm seeing this thing where you're skipping over like the process of being kind to that big emotion that you're having. You're kind of putting it aside.
Yeah, and
we know what happens with that.
You're skipping your healing opportunity.
Yes, there it is. You're skipping your healing opportunity, which is going to add up. Yeah, love it, love it, love it. All right. That was a great share. So there you guys go. A topic, and it was towards like, well, what initiated this share was a moment of loneliness, feeling really, really, really lonely. And you might be feeling some other ways, but it's a big emotion. And I would say it would pertain to like big, painful emotions. You know, usually those are the ones that challenge us the most, where we immediately go to escaping or numbing. And so perhaps you can ask yourself some questions where it allows you to be an observer and being like kind of gentle and seeking the next right thing for you to do. Like small solutions. Like, what is a small solution I can do right now?
And as soon as you come out of resisting the emotion or wanting to avoid the emotion or labeling the emotion as bad or wrong, then the emotion can freely move through its process and its journey, you know, and you're there actually you're there to serve as the vessel for the emotion to move through, you know. But it's when we think that uncomfortable emotions are bad or wrong, that they create, like, that they get stuck in our bodies. Totally. And then create disease in our bodies.
Totally. Oh my goodness. Right? Like, are you being kind to yourself right now? And how can you reframe the words, this is bad, or like that this is bad, that you're a horrible human being for feeling this way? How can you reframe that? Lovely. There was some golden nuggets. Sometimes you might have heard like, oh my gosh, yes, pick one thing that you really resonated with and take that with you. Because guess what? We all have these big emotions. And if we avoid taking care of them, man, like I said before, it'll add up. It'll add up, and it'll show up in the ways that you show for yourself and for others, right? And yeah. All right, guys, we will see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in. Share this out if you feel like it resonated. I put a link up there for our next workshop on the 28th. And what is the topic, Halley?
Embracing change.
Embracing change. We're going through a lot of changes. So if you feel that speaks to you, it's from 6:30 to 8:30. And yeah, the tickets are right up there. And we only have 4 spots. Just FYI, we usually always, like 99.9, sell out. So we're going to email some people of previous attendees. So I'm just saying, if there's only 4 spots, it's about to be sold out this weekend, I feel like. Once I send out that email, people are just going to grab it. So if you guys would like to attend, make sure you grab it. Alrighty.
Bye.
Bye, guys. See you guys next week.